Getting started with Petra Business Suites is pretty easy. You go to the official website, petrabusinesssuites.com, and click on the Get Started button. This will take you to the applications page where you will either log in if you already have an account or create a new account. Now, there is sign up or sign in with Google, which we will not. It's pretty straightforward and standard. We'll go instead to create an account. You put in your name. I like to use Alexander, and an email address. I'm going to use an email address I haven't used before. Select a password. Yes, I'll pick same for this. Agree to the terms and submit. Now an OTP will be sent to your email, the email you provided, so as to validate that the email you're supplying us is the right thing. In case you do not get it directly in your inbox, proceed to your spam folder. You should see it. I've gotten mine. Verify. As soon as the system verifies the email, the first thing it does is take me to where I would either select an organization or create an organization. Now, for those who already have or are part or have been invited to any organization, you will see the list of those organizations on top. At the top here, you've been invited, or you can select your existing. Now, since this is a first-time account, I am not going to see any of that, so I will go ahead and create a new organization. You put the name of the organization, let me call it etc. Choose your country, of which, depending on where you are, you would be presented with either United States or Nigeria. Now, since I'm logged using a VPN, the Nigerian option is out of the question. So, but if I want to use the Nigerian option, all I've just got to do is disconnect my VPN and refresh this page. And here I'll be given the Nigerian option. I select the state. City, these are optional anyway. Address, you can leave that. And then your default working hours per week, which is 40. Select currency, since Nigeria is going to be Naira, and website if you have one. Then you go ahead and create. Okay, address is necessary. Go ahead and create one. Now, to ease the process, as soon as you create, you are presented with a wizard to help you set up your organization, the necessary things you need. The first thing you would see is the welcome, the organization summary. Welcome to Petra Business Suites. Etc. has been created and you are assigned as the super admin. Your first, the account, the business or organization you create, you become automatically the super admin. You start the setup process. The next thing you'll see the subscription, for which you can, the standard user, which is the base reimbursables, if you would choose, if members of your team would make claims with respect to what they handled. Print reimbursables, same. Invoicing or CRM, staff leave, project management. Number of seats, which you can set depending on, let's say 5, and this is the estimated. Now, because you have not created an organization before, or you have not had a free trial before, you would have this 30-day free trial option, or you can go ahead and simply subscribe, put in your card. But for our purposes, we'll start with the 30-day trial. I'll click that, and it tells me it's been done, and it will take me to the next page where it will ask us to define positions. Now, positions are important in the setup of Petra Business Suites because one of the things it does is to help you track your time, billable and non-billable hours. Now, how would you tell if an hour is billable or what the cost of that billable hour is via the positions. Each position is supposed to have a cost per hour, say 15,000 naira per hour, 25,000 naira per hour, 60,000 naira per hour, so that when you're recording against your timesheets, you are able to put, okay, I worked on this particular thing for 2 hours, it will charge against your billable hour. So that's why positions are important. Of course, it's not compulsory to do that now, but we created a way to make it simple where you can upload all the positions you need. You can simply just download the position samples where, like, this director, software engineer, project manager, UX, HR officer, all the aliases. Now, there's what we call the rank. The lower the rank within Petra, the more authority that position has. So a rank of 1, very high. A rank of 100 should be sort of low. So here, the cost per hour, the hours per week. Meaning, for example, if you have a particular user who has to use Petra, and that user does not require to log in timesheet, maybe just to monitor things, you can set the hours per week to 0. So I'm just going to reuse this template. Now, let's say director is put at 60,000, software engineer at 30,000, project manager at 25,000, the UX at 20,000, the HR officer at 15,000. Then required hours per week, I can set the director to 0. And then depending on the flexibility of your team, like for our team, some of our engineers are on 20 hours per week, 15 hours per week, so it's that flexible. Then I can save this sample, close this, and I can re-upload the sample. Guess it's saved to the downloads. There's Petra positions, and then it tells me 5 some position samples have been uploaded where you can see them. You can modify them here if you're okay with it, and of course you can add manually. That just makes things easy. You can save and continue. Now at this stage you can invite team members if you already have team members. I'm not going to do that. We also have a template for inviting team members, which becomes very important for people who are signing up with large teams. As usual, we download the template. We open it up to see what it looks like, where you enter the first name, the last name, the email. The position automatically selects from the previous positions you just created, so that it makes it easy as soon as they accept the invitation to the organization, positions are assigned to them automatically. And their roles, the roles can be, we have the super admin, the CRM user, and the user. The user is a normal user. He has very limited access to most of what the system offers. The CRM user has access to parts of the organizations that have to do with CRM, invoicing, client management, and whatnot. And admin has access to almost every part of the organization except for sensitive parts like organization settings. And of course, you can assign another super admin outside of yourself who will have the same access to make the same kind of changes you can make. But we're not going to be doing that, so we close. So since I'm not going to be, I will just skip this test. And then we have organization leaves. That's, for example, now the system is such that if you've put in 40 hours per week for a particular person and the person is on leave, by enabling any of the leave modules, which of course become active if you selected HR in your previous setup, leave management in your previous setup, these team members can apply for leave from their line managers, and you can set the number of days you want to assign for each of these leave items. We'll go on to that in another video, so we just go next. Now, there are certain notifications that come as a reminder to the rest of your team. For example, daily timesheets reminders to remind you that, hey, you have not completed the hours for the day. If you are required to do 40 hours a week, of course, that translates to 8 hours a day. So you can say by 6 p.m. this reminder will go. There is staff reports where a manager or you yourself, the super admin, gets to see what your team engaged in for the week. And then the staffs too can also have a summary weekly of what they did and where they are lagging behind. You can set that or leave it as the default. You can go back to organization settings to modify each and every one of these things, and then you can save and finish, and that is it. You're all set. Your organization is ready, and if you checked your email, you would have received an email congratulating you and letting you know that your organization has been set up. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.